Once there.
Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young.
The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa!
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Perhaps.
But it's well.
As for the mortals and Adepti of Liyue, what shape shall our relationship take from now on?
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Xinyue kiosk.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Xinyue kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
You're right. I do like the Mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon, so I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the Shogun of Inazuma, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become a closed nation?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of the statue of the omnipresent god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm. The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto the heavenly principles. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation. Have patience. I suspect that some serendipity must first come into play.
I have gathered everyone here today to make an important announcement. Perhaps some of you will have heard the news already. I am, in fact, planning to rebuild the Jade Chamber.
Rebuild the Jade Chamber? That's a huge project!
So the rumors are true. No wonder the price of building materials has gone up so much lately.
The Jade Chamber means a lot to Lady Ningguang. Getting involved in this would be a huge opportunity.
Lady Ningguang, is there any way we can be of service?
Patience. Since the news made it out a few days ago, I have already had many people contacting me to declare an interest in joining the project. Nevertheless, I do have a few matters I should like to entrust to you here today. The building site has been chosen, and most of the materials have been assembled. 3 key items are, however, still outstanding. They are as follows: Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Cores, and Adepti Sigils.
Excuse my ignorance, Lady Ningguang. I'm familiar enough with Plostrite, but I've never even heard of those other 2.
Only sufficiently large pieces of Plostrite, or specifically, Vermilionite, may earn themselves the Sunset moniker. This stone is what allows the Jade Chamber to float. Wonder Cores, meanwhile, are the central components of the mechanical structure of the Jade Chamber. Adepti Sigils serve as a means of integrating the mechanical devices with Adepti art. They are as indispensable as the mechanical core itself. Although these 3 items are rare, I trust that with your connections and capabilities, procuring them will not be a question of if, but of when. I take the saying, time is money, more seriously than most. Efficiency is everything. I will pay a generous price for the materials that you find, and in addition, the first 3 people who collect all the materials will have the opportunity to ask me a question. You may ask me anything, and I will give you an honest answer. I trust that this means of compensation will be to everyone's satisfaction.
These things won't be easy to get hold of. But if it means a chance to get some inside information on Liyue Harbor's development plan for next year...
Then it's the deal of a lifetime. Information from Lady Ningguang is priceless. Whoever gets to it first takes the market.
Haha, what a coincidence! I won't divulge too much, but I heard some murmurings about some Plostrite just the other day. So excuse me all, but, I have some business to do.
No. We better move quickly, or this opportunity will be snatched away from us.
Ningguang's rebuilding the Jade Chamber? This is a huge deal! Let's get involved!
So you heard my announcement, did you? What do you think? Interested? Yes. Providing the question pertains to something I am knowledgeable about.
Really? Ooh, then Paimon will ask you about how to run a business! Then we'll never be short of Mora ever again.
Of course. But how much information I share with you will depend on your performance. The construction of the Jade Chamber requires a great deal of space. The abandoned mine outside the Golden House has been selected as the building site. Once you have collected the materials, please take them there. I have other business to attend to now. Otherwise, I would gladly escort you to the site in person. When you do arrive, please seek out my secretary. Remember, this is a race against the clock. A rare opportunity presents itself to you. Do not let somebody else snatch it from your grasp.
Ningguang seems super busy. Come on, we'd better get going. First, we gotta get out of Eugene Terrace. Huh? Look! It seems like there's something kind of fishy going on over there.
Ma'am, you seem like an eminent and distinguished young lady to me. I can see that you're easily gonna win this procurement contest Lady Ningguang has set up. As it happens, information about the materials that I really think might interest you. Come on, let's find somewhere a little more private. We can get down to brass tacks.
No, I don't need it.
Don't be like that. Hey, come on! Don't go! Why don't you stand there after her?
Oh, right, yeah.
You hear that? They said they had some useful information. Information's just what we need right now. Let's follow them and see what we can find out. They're not here. Let's keep looking.
Well, will you look at that, ma'am? Nowhere left to run. Don't worry, we're not bad guys. You give us some Mora, we give you a little info. Everybody's a winner.
Boss, I got a bad feeling about this. Look at her, the white hair, the energy she gives off. I'm telling you, there's something different about her.
So what? She's loaded. How are we ever going to repay those gambling debts if we just let money walk away from us, huh?
I've already told you, I don't need your information. If you still can't grasp that, I'm happy to repeat it in a way that won't be so easy to forget.
Come on, ma'am. You seem like an intelligent lady. I shouldn't have to spell this out to you. It's not about whether you need the info or not, okay? It's about you taking out your money and handing it over and nobody getting hurt.
I won't...
No more excuses! I know you have money. I saw you. Yeah, I saw you. Strolling into Leo Lee Pavilion, ordering a table full of food, and only taking a few bites. Then Shinyu at kiosk, then Wanmin restaurant. Same story each time. You order all the signature dishes, take a few bites, then you're on your way again. How could you afford to be so wasteful if you weren't from a rich family? And since you're so rich, what's the loss to you in giving us a little spare change, huh?
Master warned me not to lay a hand on anyone in Liyue Harbor. But here we are. Perhaps... yes. Let's call it fate.
Boss, I'm telling you, something's not right.
What are you afraid of? We're just selling information. It's not illegal. If she lays a finger on us, all the better. We'll sue her for everything she's worth.
Oh, you again.
The Millilith? What are the Millilith doing here? Did you do this? You ought to mind your own business, I swear!
Silence! How dare you threaten innocent civilians? You're coming with us.
No, don't be angry, sir. Please, let me explain.
Shenhe.
Shenhe?
My name.
Oh, so your name's Shenhe. Paimon's name is... well, Paimon. And this is Paimon's travel buddy.
Oh, I've heard about you two before. Thank you for helping to defuse the situation. I could have dealt with it myself, though. I suspect smashing his head against the ground a handful of times is all it would have taken to get him to surrender.
You can't do that. That's way too violent. This is Liyue Harbor. There are laws against that kind of stuff, you know.
Laws? No, apparently not.
Really? So how exactly have you...
That would be my stomach growling. I haven't eaten enough.
She's so honest. Wait! That's right! They ordering this and that and the other, but only took a small bite of each dish. Then of course you're still hungry. So, anything in particular you're hungry for?
Chingson, glaze lily, violet grass. These are my usuals. Medicinal herbs?
Kinda hard to explain. Anyway, Boo Boo Pharmacy's not far away. Let's take Shenhe there for a big medicinal meal. After all, you can't work on an empty stomach. Psst. Do you think Shenhe might be an Adeptus? It seems like it's her first time in Liyue Harbor, and she doesn't seem to get how things work here. If she is an Adeptus, that would explain everything. Where does she fit in with the other Adepti, though? Paimon's super curious.
Are you here to buy some herbs? I do.
Chingson, glaze lily, and violet grass, please. Half a pound of each.
What kind of prescription is this? Sounds more like a lunch order. Oh, here you go. That's everything we have in stock.
Thank you.
She's...
My hunger has now abated. Thank you. Rather awful. Though they were not completely devoid of sweet fragrance, after consuming a large quantity of them, bitterness is all that remains.
So, how come you chow down on these and barely touch the restaurant food? If Paimon had enough Mora, Paimon would go to the fanciest restaurant in town and order a whole table of food and eat it all in one go.
Because I'm not sure whether I will remain here in the future. The food of the mortal realm is most delicious, but should I return to the mountains, yearning for the food here shall only pose an obstacle to my continued spiritual development. Sampling each dish in order to appreciate its taste is enough.
Return to the mountains! That proves it! Paimon knew she was an Adeptus!
Enough about me. What are your plans from here?
Oh, right! Paimon almost forgot! And now we're probably super behind because we've been held up for so long.
I see. I heard something about the...
Yep! You get to ask Ningguang any question you want Were you interested in the...
I came for the rebuilding of the Jade Chamber, but until this point I had no... However, you have shown me your kindness, and I would now like to...
Wow! You're right, but having an Adeptus help out will make things a whole...
Then let's not delay. I have a plan.
Great! Paimon bets this is good...
I am not sure whether, or to what extent, this plan can be classified as awesome. I do, however, believe it will be highly effective. We simply need to dispose of everyone who is currently ahead of us. Then, we alone shall become the victors.
Veto! That is not acceptable! Not by a long shot!
Really? But I hear that competition is in essence about conflict and one-upmanship.
Look, we want to win this competition fair and square, okay? Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Cores, and Adepti Sigils. Let's start at the top of the list and work down. So, for Plostrite...
I was wondering who I could hear arguing over there. So, it's you.
Baishu? What are you doing out here?
Lady Ningguang wishes to purchase a large batch of wound dressing. We're running low at the store, so I came out to fetch the ingredients personally.
Huh? How come Lady Ningguang needs so much wound dressing all of a sudden?
I'm not too sure. I did hear she's looking to rebuild the Jade Chamber. Maybe for its first aid on site? I didn't ask, though. Far be it from me to pry into my customers' personal affairs. and she also borrowed Chi-Chi. Meaning Boo Boo Pharmacy is very short-handed right now. I don't suppose any of you are looking for part-time work by any chance?
No, we've got other stuff to do. While you're here, though...
Ah, the variety of plostrite used in the Jade Chamber, yes? As far as the records show, virtually all Sunset Vermilionite in existence has been mined and taken possession of. But...
Okay, then. Let's go out... Thanks, bye.
You're quite welcome. Good...
Master Xingqiu, thank goodness you're finally back.
Oh? Why do I detect an urgency in your voice?
The guild has had a whole string of strange orders in recently. Everyone's been completely caught off guard. Your father gave me specific instructions to ask you to stay and help out if I happen to see you.
I see. Have someone sort the orders by type for now.
Oh, how wonderful.
Hey, Xingqiu! Glad you're here. We want to ask you for some information.
Traveler, Paimon, Shu, I need to entertain some guests.
Understood, Master Xingqiu.
I wasn't counting on finding you here today. What's going on?
Xingqiu, have you ever heard of Sunset Vermilionite?
Oh, I see. So you've entered Lady...
As well? Do you mean...
The truth is, the Feiyun Commerce Guild is in possession of some Sunset Vermilion. We are holding it on behalf of someone who has asked us to put it up for auction. And a lot of interested parties. At the end of the day, it all comes down to supply and demand. In this case, I'm guessing the final transaction price may be in excess of 500 million. Honestly, I would recommend that you don't bother bidding on this one.
But... with that...
Don't panic. I don't suppose you ever...
Who?
Oh, Seagazer was once very close to Mountain Shaper. But if I am not mistaken...
Yes, precisely. I didn't... According to records of drifting clouds, Seagazer once built an abode to store his... After Seagazer passed, the abode was abandoned. Luckily, I came into possession of a stack of folk history books just recently. They make some...
That's great! Wouldn't it be a little...
You needn't worry. As far as I understand, Seagazer was very open-minded. Even...
Open-minded? I have not heard of Seagazer.
Just a rumor I heard out in the mountains. All right then, let's go.
There's something about this young... Oh, I almost forgot. Adepti abodes tend to have very ingenious designs, especially when it comes to their defense mechanisms.
Okay, we will be. Let's see. Xingqiu said it should be around here, but Paimon doesn't see anything.
This place was hidden using a special Adepti art. But now that I have removed it, we can inspect the area more closely.
Wow, that's amazing! Yep, let's take another look around. Hey, look! Is that a new Sealy over there? Got to here and then disappear. Should we go over and take a look? What? Weren't we at a waterfall just now? How did we suddenly end up here? Oh. So many clouds. It feels like we're high up in the sky.
I believe this is the abode of that Adeptus. With any luck, the sunset vermilionite we're looking for should be in here.
Really? Let Paimon see! Look, it's gone, and now that Paimon takes a closer look, the wrecks and...
These are not real clouds. If we want to go down, we must first destroy the mech...
Alright, then let's...
I sense the presence of monsters in this place.
Obey! Unleash! Hip! Chia! Ha! Chia! Ra! Chia! Hip! Chia! Ka! Ra! Ra! Hup! Hip! Chia! Obey! Ha! Ra! Take your true form! Transfiguration! My will embodied! Transfiguration!
It appears that we've been taken for intruders. This time, why not allow me to take care of this? Cryo Incarnate! Take your true form! The core of the mechanism is exposed. Now's our chance. Transfiguration!
Whoa! We're gonna fall! Is everyone okay? Look! The Celia's disappeared beneath the clouds again!
It looks like we need to go further down. But before that, let's destroy the guard mechanisms on this level first.
My will embodied! Shake and stir! I summon! Oh! Diana Special! Help protect us!
Windblade!
Transfiguration! Do your master's bidding!
Disappear!
Midnight Phantasmagoria!
Windblade!
My will embodied! We're gonna fall! This time, we're really gonna fall! Ah! So, luckily there was a pool of water at the bottom. Otherwise, that could have ended very differently. Hey! That Sealy's on the move again! Let's catch up with it! Huh. Something looks different about this stone wall. Let's take a closer look.
In your dreams!
Think you can bully me? Can't handle your dream, huh?
Cryo Incarnate!
With the wind! Wind blade!
Ready, steady, go! By royal decree...
Take your true form! My will embodied!
Shadow Raven, let night fall! Oz, repeat! I'll protect us. Insubordination! Scratch! Ha! I'm here! Let's go, let's go! Diana Special!
With the wind!
On the rocks!
By ordinance divine.
Wind blade!
Midnight Phantasmagoria! Look at you, Bootail! Shake and... la 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 la.
Transfiguration!
Look, over there! Could that be the Sunset Vermilionite? Is this it? Is this the sun? It's so huge! That's true, but then it...
Plaustrite doesn't float until it's activated. It may look different from most ordinary stones, but it weighs around the same amount. Only after being activated does Plostrite reveal its true nature, breaking free from the shackles.
Wow, Shenhe.
Only because my master is fond of chatting about these things. I don't care for her stories most of the time. I certainly didn't expect them to ever come in handy like this.
Hold on a sec. If we activate it here, there's no way, but if we don't activate it, how else?
Don't worry. I can handle the...
Are you sure?
Please don't worry. I'm well aware that a Plostrite sample this large must my safety.
That's right! Paimon ship, you gotta be extra careful with...
Is it? I'll go on ahead with the Plostrite.
How is Shenhe able to carry that huge rock all by herself? Adepti super strength much? We can't slow down yet. Let's go meet her at the building site.
Ad Astra.
Oh my god, I can't believe my eyes.
How can she lift that massive rock all by herself? She's gotta be one of those Adepti, surely.
Oh, mighty Adeptus, please give me your blessing, so that in the coming year I may reap a more bountiful salary.
This is top tier in size and quality, and the condition it's in is quite simply immaculate. Congratulations! This item is approved for submission. I'm going to award you full marks for the Sunset Vermilion.
My name isn't important. I was just delivering this for some other people.
Shenhe and Ningguang's little helper.
Ah, so you're the ones behind. But I have to correct you on one point.
Okay then, Miss
In truth, it is if everything goes according to plan, we will use this piece in the foundation of the Jade. As a side note, Lady Ningguang has rented some dwellings in the nearby area to serve as accommodations. Now, please excuse me. As you can see, there is still...
Shenhe, just now on the...
Oh, really?
What kind of reaction is that? Whenever Paimon gets...
I've had similar compliments before. They call me an Adeptus. Treat me with great deference and respect, as if I'm set apart from the common folk.
Yeah, 'cause that's how Adepti are. At least the ones we've met are pretty unique and reclusive, too. Way different than normal people.
But I am not...
Shenhe?
I'm fine. I've been exerting myself quite a lot ever since we set foot in that abode. I'm just a little fatigued.
Well, Byron said that there are some makeshift hotels we can...
No need.
You can't do that. When you're hungry, you go eat something tasty. And when you're tired...
Okay.
Great! Now we're talking!
Hi there! Checking in, are we? You're just in left. Since this was chosen as the building site for the new Jade Chamber, we've had a constant stream of people in this area. And not just workers either. So, business is booming for me.
Great!
One of your rooms is still being cleaned. I guess it should be here are your keys?
Shenhe, you should go get some... Paimon's gonna go see if there's anything good to eat. Let's buy one for Shenhe too.
All right. If you need anything, don't hesitate to disturb me. I'm a light sleeper. I will...
Hey! Isn't that Cloud Retainer? What's she doing here? Let's go and say hi.
One trusts you have met Shenhe. So, are you getting along quite well?
So far, so good. Yeah. So, you know Shenhe too, Cloud Retainer?
Naturally. Save for Ganyu, who spends the majority of her time in Liyue Harbor. All the Adepti living today are acquainted with Shenhe to some degree.
Cool! So, what's her Adeptus name anyway? Calling her Shenhe feels kind of friendly, but also kind of disrespectful. So Paimon's thinking maybe it'd be better if we called her by her Adeptus name instead.
Her Adeptus name? Why, pray tell, would Shenhe have an Adeptus name?
Don't all Adepti have a special title they go by?
On this latter point, you are correct. However, Shenhe is human.
Oh, right. Wait, what? What? You knew already? So is Paimon the only one who didn't know?
Do you mean to say that she presents differently from ordinary human beings?
Well, to start with, her problem-solving methods are extremely direct.
Ah, yes. She was like this all those years ago when one first met her. In this respect, she has not changed. One first found Shenhe by chance in a cave. One was passing by and sensed the presence of a god's remains. Being of an ever-vigilant disposition, one entered immediately to inspect the scene. Inside was Shenhe, then aged around 6 years old. In her hand, she held a dagger with which she was confronting a monster that was the god's remains incarnate.
That sounds so dangerous.
When one arrived, she had already been locked in confrontation with this monster for several days. Most mortal children are fragile, both physically and mentally, and are highly reliant on their parents for survival. But not so her. That she was able to endure such terrible danger was due not only to her strong willpower, but also to the bloodlust and homicidal instinct with which she was born. One dealt with the monster, yet she still refused to lower her guard. She even pointed her dagger in one's direction and remained ready to strike. only after she was satisfied that one had no intention to cause her harm did she finally relent. She then passed out without uttering a single word.
In other words, if you hadn't passed by that day, Shenhe might have...
Not necessarily. Upon one's arrival, one could sense that the god's wrath was gradually receding. Even had the stalemate continued, one suspects that Shenhe may have still emerged the victor of the confrontation.
That's still so dangerous, though! Why was a tiny little kid battling against the wrath of a god in the first place?
Alas, the mortal world is rife with suffering of every kind, and she had experienced her fair share of this, even at a tender age. Seeing that she was homeless, one decided to adopt her. Indeed, it is one to whom she refers. Shenhe has an extraordinary constitution, making her well adapted to practicing the Adepti arts. All the Adepti cherished her talents, and so we were willing to train her. However, her homicidal urges did not subside with age. Rather, they grew stronger day by day. Mooncarver once performed a divination for her. He declared that her fate is to bear the curse of calamity. Consumed by malevolent energy, she is prone to bring harm to those around her. Such is the magnitude of the danger this poses, that her soul must be bound with red ropes to keep her homicidal instinct at bay. The red ropes have indeed served to keep her calmer and more content. They also seem to have rendered her somewhat inexpressive. Perhaps the red ropes are so powerful that they have suppressed some of her other emotions as well. It is only by fate that people's paths may cross. Now that Shenhe's path has crossed with yours, please be sure to treasure the gift that fate has given you, and take good care of her.
Oh, now Paimon gets it. You came out here to check up on Shenhe because you were worried about her, didn't you?
Huh. You dare draw such a facile conclusion on the nature of one's present excursion? Incorrect. The truth is that while Liyue Harbor may seem peaceful today, danger is always lurking in the shadows. Ningguang once made a bold assertion that this is to be the era of the contract between Liyue and the humans. Well, one is most curious to observe how she will respond to the coming storm. If she handles it admirably, one is willing to be a witness to her achievements. But if she does not, the Adepti shall not hesitate to seize control. Let us conclude our conversation here for today. One has occupied enough of your time, and night is approaching. Be sure to get ample rest.
So, Shenhe isn't an Adeptus after all?
master has relayed my situation to you, I take it?
Oh? How did you know?
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in. I was worried that something may have happened to you, so I went outside to check and caught sight of my master. On top of this, you have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me to suspect that my master must have told you everything about me. After all, Master is very talkative.
Sorry, Shenhua. Paimon had you down as an adeptus.
It's okay. I don't mind. The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner, because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit. Still, though you mistook me for this...
To be fair, we've met anyway. Now it's settled. From now on, you...
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms...
Great! Well, but before we do that, after all, since... Oh, and another thing. We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back last night. There was a place just outside. Here's one for you, Shenhua. Try it! They're so good.
I concur. It has a rich flavor, far more agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Look! The Jade Chamber is floating into the sky! But it seems to be tied down by something.
That's because it's not finished.
Hey, Byron! And hey! People Paimon doesn't know?
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure the structure remains balanced. Before we find some suitable plastrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plastrite is ready, we place it into the keel and let the partially constructed Jade Chamber rise up to the height of the surrounding mountain peaks. The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade Chamber to rise to its target altitude.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new materials to submit.
One moment. I'll be right there. The construction work has only been able to progress this rapidly thanks to the plastrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
Wow, can't believe you sourced the plastrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch. Wait, I know you. You're the one who... Pleased to meet you. I'm Beto, captain of the Crux.
Beto? Are you here to
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of sun...
Huh. So even though it's rare...
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yun, or Yunjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Greetings.
These two are Paimon and the Traveler. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Shenhua.
Miss Yun is also here for the contest. Turns out she...
It's an honor to finally meet you both, to be honest with you all.
Wow.
Excuse me for...
No, I don't have any questions for...
In that case, Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants, instead of competing against each other...
Sounds great, but...
The plastrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all 3 of us men... How'd I do? Is that what...
Precisely.
Huh.
Okay then. All right, I'll go first. I have some. From what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore you.
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers.
Wonderful. We'll split into. I'm gonna take off. See you later.
Okay, let's go. By the way,
I'm looking for a venue to host the performance.
Ooh, what's the opera?
The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit and an adeptus. It's called The Divine Damsel of Devastation.
Ah, hello. Are you here for something off the shelf, or do you need something forged?
Excuse me, Master Zhang. We were wondering if you'd heard of something called a Wonder Core.
Of course I have. Sorry, who's asking?
My name is Yunjin. Perhaps you don't know me, but I believe that you forged some weaponry for my father in the past, for stage use.
Yunjin? Stage use? Oh, so you must be Miss Yoon. Sorry, my brain's finally caught up. It's not used to doing much beyond bashing a hammer all day. Everyone's heard of you, Miss Yoon, even folks who don't make it to the opera all that often. So, you're here to ask about Wonder Cores, huh? The types of ore needed to make Wonder Cores are
No, we were gonna ask you what kinds of ore we need.
Sure. Well, you'll need two kinds. Stars, if I remember correctly, Lady Ningguang sourced her star. It could take some work, but if you stick with it, I'm really not sure. Sorry. Of course, it's probably just
Mount Tianheng.
Interestingly enough, the story of the divine I hear the view there is quite spectacular. Perhaps it can give me some inspiration. I came to Mount Tianheng once with my father as a child. I remember it being such a long climb that I could barely feel my legs by the time we reached the top. Oh, this is quite a trip down memory lane for me. Look at these No wonder the legend of the Divine Damsel of Devastation.
The Divine Damsel of Devastation is your... What's the story about that?
It's the story of a girl.
Cool, I hear...
The legend first arose in this area. It is said that there used to be a prosperous village on the mountain. In that village, there was a loving couple who were completely devoted to one another. One day, a terrifying monster appeared. The wife was out collecting herbs and was captured by the monster. Her husband was so distraught at the news that it broke his spirit and drove him to madness. The vile and vicious monster told the villagers, "If you want to live, you must sacrifice a child to me."
What a nasty piece of work!
But the monster was so terrible and so strong that all within the village were terrified of it. They had no choice but to give in to the monster's demand. Just while they were discussing whose child would be given over to the monster, a little girl suddenly stood up and came forward.
No! Don't do it!
Unbeknownst to anybody else, she was concealing an exorcist's blade. She approached the monster's lair, feigning fear and trepidation. She courageously drew her sword, eventually emerged as the victor. Her extraordinary abilities drew the attention. Her story became the stuff of legends, but I'll re-enter the mortal world. And so, destined to grace the
I really like this story. I personally think that perhaps the little girl... I'm not sure she deserves all...
Opera is always an interpretation of the events. When my father wrote the script for this play...
Well, it sure inspired...